Part 2. Number 8. More blatant timeline-altering violation. So even though the Phoenix shows no signs of damage, I guess it's damaged. Picard tells Geordi to bring down the entire engineering staff. Again, they all take the effort of wearing period clothing, but they tell everyone about the future.
It is one of the pivotal moments in human history, Doctor.
Poverty, disease, war, they'll all be gone within the next 50 years.
I've never seen that kind of technology.
That's because it hasn't been invented yet.
What?
We all grew up hearing about what you did here.
You get to make first contact with an alien race. Because at 11 o'clock, an alien ship will begin passing through this solar system.
And somehow, Troy is now qualified to be the mission control operator.
Final launch sequence checks are complete.
Everyone's probably like, who's this chick? What happened to Zefram Cochrang's original co-pilots? Did both of them die? I mean, it looks like he built the ship with 3 seats. So when history asks, who are your co-pilots? What were their names? Where are they? Is he gonna lie? Then when they ask to talk to the co-pilots, what is he gonna show them? These guys over here? It's these guys in the bar. Yeah. Just don't ask so many specific questions, okay? Start building a statue. I guess the Borg attack must have killed everyone involved in the Phoenix project, except for Cochrane and Lily. So if you were one of the people that survived, you'd be like, who are all these weird people all of a sudden helping us launch the rocket up? I'm gonna tell my grandkids about this, and they're gonna tell their friends at school, and it's gonna fuck everything up. Number 9. A Tale of Two Picards. The problem with the TNG movies, and this one in particular, is that there are 2 Picards. There's the TV show Picard, who's this enlightened intellectual. He only uses violence as a last resort, and he always follows his conscience and a strict code of ethics.
I don't have time for this. But I'm also bound by my oath and my conscience to uphold certain principles.
But then in the movies, Picard's a crazed, violent psychopath.
Mr. Worf, destroy that thing. Time's up. We're not hunters, Doctor, nor is it our role to exact revenge. I will make them pay for what they've done. Reprogram the torpedoes, Mr. Worf. Let's hope we don't have to use them. Mr. Worf, quantum torpedoes.
Ready, sir.
Fire. Have we become so fearful? Have we become so cowardly that we must extinguish a man because he carries the blood of a current enemy?
You see, on the show, Picard had a chance to unleash a deadly virus into the Borg, wiping them out once and for all. But he didn't. He realized that the Borgs were a species, and they had a right to exist just like everybody else. He knew better than to commit genocide.
You found a single Borg at a crash site, brought it aboard the Enterprise, studied it, analyzed it, and eventually found a way to send it back to the Borg with a program that would have destroyed the entire collective once and for all. But instead, you nursed the Borg back to health, treated it like a guest, gave it a name, and then sent it home.
Now keep in mind, this whole story came after Picard was abducted by the Borgs. And they still didn't want to kill them all.
I will make them pay for what they've done.
Then there was this other time, right, where Picard was against killing the crystalline entity, a giant crystal creature that basically ate life by the planet load.
If we can possibly avoid firing on it, then I would hope
Aren't you going to kill it?
You think like, hey, that's crazy. This thing's sucking the life off of planets. We should just shoot it.
I would argue that the crystalline entity has as much right to be here as we do.
Or what? You'll kill me?
He regarded this thing as a life form that was just doing what it was supposed to do.
So long as we are in no danger, I will make every effort to communicate.
What?
I don't deny that it may be necessary to fire on it, but I look on that as a last resort.
What?
He's quick to react, quick to do dumb action things, and he always violates orders on a whim.
I'm about to commit a direct violation of our orders.
I think he does it in every movie. In fact, Picard's orders get violated more often than Counselor Troy.
It was a violation.
It doesn't matter so long as you...
And there is a big difference between data and a tool.
Doctor, there is a big difference between you and a virus.
I guess Kirk established a precedent that if you disobey orders and save Earth, then it's cool with your superiors. They'll even applaud you. But you better be sure you save Earth, because if you don't, then you'll get a court-martial. Military orders are flexible, I guess. Again, just like Counselor Troy.
You're unusually limber this morning.
She certainly is limber. Oh, that's right, honey pie, work that business. But one thing military orders aren't is still sexy after 45. Number 10, Borg indoors. The Borg seemingly had no problem beaming over to the Enterprise during the split second when the shields were down and transforming half the ship into Borg stuff by making materials out of thin air. But the Borg seemed to have a problem just opening doors. Now in this scene, the Borg bang on the doors to sickbay. Dr. Crusher must have had the doors locked, I guess. But anyway, so it takes the Borg 30 minutes to pound through the door. Wouldn't it just have opened when they walked up to it? However, in another scene, when Picard intentionally locks the door to slow them down a little, the Borg figure out how to open it pretty fast by sticking their fingers in the crack. They skipped the whole pounding on it with their fists stage. I guess they adapted. So the Borg are both technically advanced cybernetic creatures that probably could have overridden the door controls really easily. But at the same time, they're also mindless Frankenstein-like zombies. I guess they're whatever the plot needs them to be. Number 11. Quick one-line cover-ups. There's a lot of moments in this movie where major flaws are covered up by one quick line of explanation.
The moon's gravitational field obscured our warp signature. The Vulcans did not detect us.
So you'd be like, oh, okay. But then you think about it for a second and you'd be like, huh? Wait, what?
Report. The moon's gravitational field obscured our warp signature. The Vulcans did not detect us.
Wait. The moon's gravitational field? What, like projected all the way to Earth? That disrupts the Vulcan sensors? Since when? Well, lots of planets have moons. So when the Phoenix jumped to warp speed, that's when the Vulcans scanned and detected the Phoenix, right? So they probably would have started heading over to Earth at that point, running their little scanners the whole time. During that time was when Picard and Data were on the Enterprise trying to kill the Borg Queen, and all sorts of crazy shit was going on. Gas, Borgs. So, what, they didn't detect the Enterprise floating around up there? Because of the moon's gravitational field. Like what causes tides? But what about all those escape pods that were on Earth? At some point you had to go and retrieve all of them and put them back on the ship before you left, right? So the Vulcans didn't notice any of that shit going on?
The moon's gravitational field obscured our warp signature.
Whatever. So Picard quickly rules out the idea of getting on a shuttlecraft to help clean the Borg off the deflector dish. They could have sucked him off with tractor beams or something.
We can't get to deflector control or a shuttlecraft.
But in the previous scene, the other dude said,
it looks like the control deck's 26 up to 11. But when they took deck 11, they just stopped.
He said the Borg stopped on deck 11.
What is on deck 11?
Hydroponics, stellar cartography, deflector control, no vital system.
They would not have stopped there unless it gave them a tactical advantage.
They were doing their thing to set the deflector dish up, so they didn't bother going anywhere further up the ship. And so that's when Picard's like,
we can't get to deflector control or a shuttlecraft.
But the main shuttle bay looks like it's on the top of the ship. From the best I can tell doing my research, it looks like it's around decks 5 and 6. So how come they can't get to a shuttlecraft?
Well, if we set our phasers to full power,
No, there's a risk that we'd hit the dish. It's charged with antiprotons. We could destroy half the ship.
What?
No, there's a risk that we'd hit the dish. It's charged with antiprotons. We could destroy half the ship.
Captain, I've reconfigured our warp field to match the chronometric readings of the Borg sphere.
Recreate the vortex, Commander.
Whatever.